Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, spending months on the road as a pro baseball player gave our first guest a deep respect for homemade meals. And that inspired him to create a magazine that celebrates the recipes and stories of home cooks across America. We welcome the founder and publisher of Homecooked, Mike McCormick. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
These are beautiful,
Thank
absolutely beautiful. And I wouldn't call them magazines. Like at first you think they're a magazine, but they're not.
Right.
Tell me about them.
Yeah, so Homecooked, they're quarterly magazines, to your point. They're 164 pages, so they're pretty thick, completely advertisement free. And basically we travel region to region across America, meeting home cooks and sharing their most cherished recipes. So we like to say we're preserving America's recipes in print, and we're just trying to do it in the most beautiful way we can.
Right, and it is gorgeous. The photos are stunning. So tell me how you started all of this. And I mentioned in the intro that you were a pro baseball player, and being on the road, you couldn't get the meals you wanted. Is that true?
Yeah, very true. So I actually went to high school down in Eugene, so I'm a local Oregonian. Was drafted, and the week that I got drafted, I took off on a plane and spent the next 5 summers basically traveling small towns on the East Coast. So at first, I didn't have a car, and eating out every meal felt fun. I was going to Waffle House and Applebee's. But it didn't take long before that started to get a little old, and you start kind of missing the familiarity of home, and home-cooked meals. And not just the taste, but the people around the table, the traditions, just the conversation, all those kind of things. And so I feel like that's what Homecooked's really about. It's not just the recipes, it is that.
Yeah.
There's about 15 recipes per issue, but it's more than that. It's really seeing a day in the lives of the people who are making these things and getting to know them and seeing their friends and family gather and really learning all the little things that make the recipes special.
Right. Gloria Picasso, Picosa. Tell me about her and her herb crackers. That she's in this greenhouse, which that's her life essentially.
Yeah,
she loves it.
She's got a very picturesque looking life. It was actually the first story that we ever photographed in eastern Massachusetts, and she lives in an 1850s farmhouse and has this beautiful property full of greenhouses and gardens, and she hosts mostly weddings at this location.
Oh, okay.
And other events, and one of the fun things she does is when a wedding party comes in, she learns their favorite recipes from scratch and then figures out a way to scale it up for the rest of the wedding party. So it's pretty amazing. But one of the things that she does almost for every event are these crackers that you just saw. And
made with all the different herbs that she has.
Yeah, they're just beautiful. You can, especially in summer, every time that my wife and I make them, people always really enjoy them and they look great.
And your wife, I understand, is a recipe tester.
She is, yeah. It's one of the perks for me as the publisher is I get to taste all this food. But my wife, Merce, is an incredible home cook, and so her and a few others, we test the recipes, and it's a fun way for us to bond and for me to understand the magazine even deeper.
Right, absolutely. Also, Kendra Thompson, she's in issue 3. She makes this incredible butternut squash ravioli.
Yeah. Well, Kendra's an interesting situation because she really made a switch like a lot of people did during the pandemic. So prior to that, she spent a career in fighting cybercrime, working for Yahoo, and had a very different
she had a career in law, right? I mean, she studied law.
Exactly. And so when the pandemic hit, she started something called the Redwood Social Club, and it was a way to get, friends and family kind of, in the backyard, gardening, making food. And so she makes a butternut squash ravioli with a sage brown butter sauce.
Oh,
that was
wow.
a lot of fun to test.
Did you get to test that one?
We certainly did. Got to test it, and it just looks great. It's a beautiful plate.
Yeah.
And her story, I think, is just one that a lot of people can relate to, and kind of shows you, too, that, even if you don't have a family that comes from a long line of, say, home cooks, it's never too late to kind of find a new passion and to do it really, really well.
Now, these first 3 were done kind of on the East Coast area, right? So tell me about do you think you'll be doing Portland soon, the West Coast? And
yeah, so we'll definitely come to Oregon. I live in Oregon, just in Tualatin with my wife and my 3 kids. I'm from Eugene. So the Willamette Valley is high on the list of places that we want to go. I think, we started in the Pioneer Valley, Massachusetts, which actually, like Willamette Valley, is a really beautiful kind of agricultural zone there with a lot of farm to table kind of things going on. And then we went to Austin, Texas for issue 2. Very different, very eclectic, as you can imagine. And then issue 3, which just came out about 10 days ago, is Monterey Bay, California.
Oh, okay, you went to California, gotcha.
And so, you know, we're making our way around the country. We try to think that in a given year, we like to bounce around and give everybody kind of a taste of different places.
Well, how do you find these home cooks?
It's a lot of work for our team. We got a great team who do a lot of internet kind of research and a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. And now that we're a little bit more established, people are submitting stories and kind of a lot of word of mouth as well. But that's the fun part. It's also difficult. I mean, we have 164 pages, but that's room for about 15 recipes and about a dozen stories. So
yeah. So you have some great photographers, great writers.
Yeah. And that's another interesting thing that we do a little bit differently is we actually send a team of people on the road to every location we cover. So all the photography is original. We're there. If someone's making, you know, a pot roast that takes all day, we're in their kitchen with them all day. You know, if they take their dog out for a walk, you know, we're going out with them to take the dog for a walk. I mean, we're really trying to be there and absorb that. So yeah, original photography, original writing, again, no ads. And
I know you publish other magazines, like one on quilting, one on fiber arts, but this is really your passion.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a 10-acre berry farm in Eugene, and I think food was always just something that was really central to my experience. And it wasn't really until, again, I went away to realize just how much that was true.
Right.
And then married into a family with my wife and mother-in-law. We do big Sunday family dinners every week. And so it's just really close to home, and it's something I've wanted to do for a really long time. And we finally felt like the company was in a position where we could give it a shot.
I know you can find these at Barnes & Noble, right?
Yep, over 600 Barnes & Nobles, including the Portland area.
Great.
And you can also go to homecookedmagazine.com. We have all the back issues available, and you can subscribe there.
Okay, and we'll have a link from our website to your website. Thank you so much. Again, it's called Home Cooked. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.